So what we've done is we've covered some power poses, we've covered some movements, and we've covered some cheeky sassiness, okay? What we're now going to do is move on to actually movement around the room or movement around the stage, so the walking part. Now you can do this with or without a boa type garment, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and grab my garment and then I'll come and see you for the next module, which will be walking. Okay guys, so on to the next module where we're going to be looking at walking and movement, alright? Now if you've got props are really good to enhance this and make it look a little bit less dull, a little bit less boring. You can glam it up, alright? But you can simply do it without. So if you want to practice without any garments first or without any sort of scarf or boa first, you can absolutely do that. And then you can add it in when you're ready. But what we're going to be particularly looking at is walking and the movement of the walk, alright? What we never want it to look like is we're trudging down the high street or that we're out doing our weekly grocery shop. We want it to look a little bit more elegant. We want it to look a little bit more presented, okay? So I'm going to give you two ideas to work with from a walking point of view. So I'm just going to come back a little bit, alright? But what you can do is you can slow down your walk and you can kind of just walk, 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 walk. Now the way you walk is the movement of the feet. So, I don't know if you noticed at the beginning, I was stepping and I was turning out my toes a little bit, yeah? So I was stepping, turning out my toes, but I was turning my shoulders and my head with that as well. You can also take the legs slightly across each other, yeah? So you'll kind of come across, and then across, and then across. So what you're doing with your movement is rather than just, yeah, you're slowing it down, you're making it more purposeful, and you're creating more of a stage present and a different kind of movement, yeah? So let's go through those again. So at first you'll probably overthink it, and you might find it's really, really awkward. If you've got heels, great, definitely time to chuck them on, it might make it a little bit easier. If not, practice without the heels and then maybe add them in when you're ready. So when you're walking, like I say, you can turn the feet away slightly, but create the movement in your body whilst you do that. Otherwise, what's going to happen is, if you're trying to walk with just your feet turned out, you're kind of going to look a little bit, yeah, like you've got something between your legs that you're trying to hold on to or avoid, alright? So create the movement in the body. You can turn the feet out and step. Repeat the same, repeat the same, repeat the same. You can turn the feet out and just glide through the movement. You can take the legs across, yes? Rather than step and turning out, you sort of naturally just step across the body. So you're kind of keeping those knees quite close together. So you'll sort of step, 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 yeah? So you're creating a different kind of movement. And once you build up confidence, you will find that you'll just move a little bit quicker as you go. You'll start to sort of mix and match them both up, yeah? You'll come across, and you'll move with a little bit more confidence, and you won't need to quite go as slow, but whilst you're building it up, don't be afraid to really slow it down and practice, okay? Think about where you're placing your feet, where your shoulders are going as you move, where your head's going as you move, all right? So that's what we would call the glide. I'm now going to show you the drag, okay? So what we're doing with our feet almost dragging that back foot before we then carry on. Drag, step, drag, step, drag. So you are dragging the toe along the floor. And if you haven't got any shoes or you know, dancing shoes, heels or anything like that, you may find that your big toe gets a little bit sore, especially if you're on carpet. So just watch out for that, okay? Don't overdo it. But let's go through that again. So this is the step and drag, yeah? So I'm just going to hold this up so it's not covering my legs, but you'll kind of step, drag, step, drag, step, drag, step, drag, yeah? So you're kind of dragging that back foot. This isn't particularly a move that you would speed up with. It doesn't quite have the same impact, yeah? If you start sort of like, you then sort of look like you're doing a bit of that. And that's kind of not the look we're going for here. We're looking for a bit of coyness, yeah? A bit of snootiness, a bit of snobbery, a bit of presence about us. So we don't want it to look like that something's going on wrong there, yeah? So this isn't one that we would speed up particularly, all right? So just think about, and again, this helps because if you've got a garment that you're sort of playing around with, you don't overthink the feet as much, you just kind of get on with it. You just start to get your flow. So once you've got your steps, bring your garment into place and just think about swishing it around, moving it around, flicking it, swinging it, throwing it over your shoulder, yeah? So you're sort of step, drag, yeah? And then you might carry on away from the audience. All right? So, something so simple that we do every day, walking, and I'm now going to make you stop and think about it, and you're going to be like, what? Some of you will pick it up really, really quickly and really easily. Some of you won't. You'll need a bit more time, and that's absolutely okay. Think about your flooring, think about your footwear, and look after your big toes, especially when it comes to the step and drag, all right? So there you go. We've got some walking and some movement, and don't forget, bring in your garment if you can, when you can, and that will just help you create a nice flow, a nice bit of sort of, yeah, presence about you, and it will help you take your mind off of just your feet and help you sort of create more of a movement and a presence rather than just what your feet's doing. Good luck with that. When we move on to the next section, we're going to be looking at prop removal. So you will definitely need your gloves and your hold-ups and your chair for the next bit. I'll see you for the next.